Him back to that point where he knows to save the larger group, to save his friends, the rest of his family, he's going to have to sacrifice, and he's willing to do it. And Negan taking that big swing back, the timing was off by maybe a millisecond, but it was still near perfection. Jeffrey Dean is, you couldn't have gotten any better for Negan. Shiva coming out was, that was just great CGI. Really good. And then later on where she has her mouth around the dude's chin and neck and her paw across his chest. Dude, that's great. And then of course you get into the all-out gunfight. You know, Mag the Hilltop show up, and Jesus. Daryl has that tri-barrel, which everybody's trying to figure out what it is if you don't know what it is ahead of time. Preacher Man gets his groove on. Of course, Negan still being defiant, flying the bird on his way out the gate. You know, I heard some comments, a lot of them, about how there was all that gunfire and not many people were getting hit. One, you know, most of these people probably have never fired an automatic weapon, especially in that situation where adrenaline's pumping, there's stuff going on all around, so aiming is Two, you're talking about homemade ammunition, where you know, you have to get the grain count right, or it doesn't fire with the proper velocity, and of course if you don't load the bullet tip in properly, you're not going to get the direction. And the weapons are now, you know, what, 7 years old, so none of them are new, and you don't know how they've been kept up. So yeah, barrel warping and all the fun stuff that nobody thinks about. You're just expecting, you know, AK-47, you should be nailing everyone. But I really think that was a testament to, you know, the breakdown of how things start breaking down when society isn't running at its peak. Of course, you go through the rest. There's so much stuff there. Then Maggie's speech at the end, talking about Glenn and how it all started when he decided to, you know, save Rick without any thought for his own life. And it was a beautiful thing, and it was tear-jerking, and of course the flashing to Sasha and all that. The one thing that kept going through my head is that really wasn't the start. The start was with Morgan. If Morgan hadn't taken Rick off the street at the very beginning of the series, nothing would have happened. It would have been over. You know, Rick wouldn't have, I don't think he would have survived anyway. There's no way. And that was probably another video, because there's just an hour's worth of conversation about how Morgan and Rick's lives tend to mirror each other, just at different times. You know, they both had their little crazy spells, both lost their wives, and a slight difference in Morgan's lost his son, Rick got to keep his. Rick being willing to do what he has to do, kill people. Morgan trying to do like the Buddhist Zen thing and not kill anyone. So there's some mirroring, and then there's some, you know, exact opposite. But in truth, you know, it started there, and of course, I mean, Glenn had a huge part in it, and really that's where all the group started. But I think you really need to give Morgan some credit, because otherwise Rick's done for. And you have to wonder how things would have turned out if he wouldn't have survived, if it would have been Shane, and you know, all of the different things, how things would have changed at the farm, whether they would have actually made it to the prison. uh, how quick or how different things would have gone with the governor. Oh, there's so much. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. There's just so much about this episode, and it was, to me, if it's not the best finale, it is, you know, number 2. And in fact, it's one of the best episodes of the series for me. And I get. Sorry about that. If you can't tell, I didn't quite have the battery charged the way it should have been. The last of what I was saying is that this was one of my favorite episodes by far, and you know, I'd really like to hear some comments and some other people's thoughts and some interaction about, you know, what I was thinking. And there's a ton of other stuff, and as long as there's any interest in this, I will do some other videos. Like I said, I'm a huge anything zombie fan. I love Z Nation. I love The Walking Dead. I fear The Walking Dead. I've been addicted to zombies since the first time I saw, you know, Romero's Night of the Living Dead, black and white, in the early 1970s. Guys, I hope you enjoy it. I really hope that this is something I can continue to do, and there's some interest. And if there's any questions, comments, you know, talk. Let me know. I'd love to, you know, have a conversation about this, about the entire series, about the season, about any other shows you like. Like I said, stuff like The Magicians. I can't wait to see season 2 from it. Game of Thrones, I'm so sad that it's coming down to the final 2 seasons. There's just so much good television, and really, I just don't have anyone to talk to about it. So you guys are my soundboard. For those of you that haven't seen me for anything else, I do a bunch of reaction videos. I do some just general rambling every once in a while. You know, so far there's I think 250 or so videos on my channel. Feel free to go peruse and, you know, dislike, like, comment, whatever you feel is appropriate. Just let me know what you think, and you know, if you feel the same way I do or differently, let me know and have a conversation. I hear my dog wanting to go outside, so I have to cut this now. It's already long. Guys, I hope you're having a great year. I hope you enjoyed the entire series, and I will talk to you very soon. Peace out.